Hello, my name is Martin, welcome back to another video. Sorry it's been a couple of weeks since the last video, the Worsley Brook, which turned out to be a bigger project than what I expected it to be. But here we are. This week's video is a bit of a recap, roundup video, a bit of an update if you like. I have got two projects that I'm working on at the minute that are quite involved, so I need to get this one to give me some time to get those projects done. Anyway, so what news have we got coming up? We've got news on Cornbrook 3. The footbridge is finally open. Coronation Street, Manchester's newest art venue, and things are changing down the Gasworks. Oh, and a trip to the National Mining Museum I'm going to talk about as well. So without further ado, Cornbrook 3. We finally got out the other day and we filmed Cornbrook 3. Let's have a bit of a recap. There you go, that was a brief recap of Cornbrook 1 and Cornbrook 2. Why is it it took a long time to do Cornbrook 3? The reason is it was so we just say, I'm being subtle here, there was a bit of an access issue. So obviously the Cornbrook is Manchester's, one of Manchester's lost rivers, one of the only rivers really, lost rivers that you can actually traverse from one end to the other. So you've got to get into it, and there was an issue with getting into it. That issue then became resolved. So we got in and we got it done. Last Sunday we got it done. Has it been 2 years since the last Cornbrook? I think it might have been, but we were always going to do it. We're always going to complete it, but there was a bit of a problem. Anyway, problem resolved. It's a short section in Cornbrook number 3. We've come up with some fairly interesting history on it. A little bit of interesting history on it. But we can now crack on and get on with Cornbrook 4 and Cornbrook 5. So that's back on the gas hob, if you like. Anyway, do you remember this video, the Gasworks video? I actually did 2 videos on the Gasworks, but there was a more recent one earlier this year. So things are moving fast down the Gasworks. They're pulling it all apart. They're nibbling back those chambers towards Rochdale Road. So let's go down the Gasworks and take a look and see what's happening. Nothing's going to stand in the way of those apartments, is it? No matter what. And those apartments will stand on contaminated land, and it doesn't matter. One of the sleepers here, on the old railway lines.
Smell it?
Yeah.
It's like
these
arches will be next door.
Yeah. I just imagine they'll get rid of all this lot.
Yeah.
So we've done the video on this already, all these ones. So there's like that yellow, we reckon that's probably sulphur, is it, that comes out?
I think so.
Leaches out.
Cyanide and everything.
It's quite contaminated here. So if you watch the Gasworks video, you may recognise the next clip. You'll see the water here in the foreground. Well, look to the left, that was a chamber. And in the next clip I'm going to show you how it used to look, that chamber. Okay, a couple of interesting things that were hidden and now are open in this image. So the little steps feature at Y with the bricks and arch X. We scrambled up an arch in the foreground that's now gone, and we got to that arch at X. So I'm going to show you this now. This is us scrambling up, and then we'll reveal that arch at X when we get over into this filled in chamber in a moment, and you'll also see the brick feature when we get up here.
Get that in bag and then I can...
There you go, that's the arch at X that's now been exposed, and you go through there, and obviously that they've now exposed that chamber through into that bit there as well. And then if I just show you the other side of this chamber, you'll see the stepped brick feature in the wall. Now all open now to the atmosphere after many years. And obviously it's going to go disappear forever, so I'm glad we documented it when we did, really. You're behind the fence here, you'll see this next bit is probably the next bit they'll do. Just shove you through, and you'll see down there those we looked into those arches there but couldn't get in, but I've since been in and had a quick look, but I couldn't film, but I've got a little bit of footage for you. Yeah, so those arches there are probably next step to go. In fact, by the time you watch this video, they're probably almost gone. This is what's inside them, more of the same really. I love the electric light up there on the left. Interesting brick feature here. And that, like I say, it's pretty much more of what you saw in my original Gasworks video. And like I say, the only reason I'm now showing it is because I think these arches are now demolished. So there you go, the Gasworks disappearing fast before your very eyes, or what was left of the Gasworks disappearing fast. And like I say, I imagine by now actually, because that was filmed just over a week ago, that those arches at the end have gone as well. It'll be unrecognisable soon. New apartments, just what we need. Do you think they'll call the apartments the Gasworks? It would actually be really good if they did call them Gasworks, but they're probably more likely to call them, they're going to cash in on the fact that it's just round the corner from Angel Meadow. And as it's called Angel Meadow, so I'm going to get a bit pedantic now. People who always get it wrong say Angel Meadows, and I imagine the marketing team will probably call it Angel Meadows, not knowing that they've actually got it wrong. But we'll see, shall we? We'll see what it's called. Sorry, you know, it's not often I get narky, but I'm going to be narky on this one. Right, anyway, we're going to a different part of town and something new. Something old for us, because we know this area really well, but something new for Manchester. So a new arts development, the footbridge has opened over the River Irwell. And we're going to take a look at the... or what's left of Coronation Street. So let's go now to another part of Manchester. Back in 2018, I think I made a video, well I did make a video about Stevenson's Bridge there. And I think one of the things I was talking about in the video was this footbridge that they'd built, and I was going to go along and take a look at it. It weren't open, and it wasn't to open for another 5 years, but it's finally open now because the complex on the other side, what they call in Factory, which is like a big arts complex over there, it's finally open. So it's all been done up, it's finally open. So we've got a view now finally of Stevenson's Bridge, but in the meantime I've actually been down there on a kayak and showed you. But you see the column there and everything, and then there was rumour that they're going to put a statue of George Stephenson on top of that. I hope they do, because it will finish it off perfectly. You can see the bridge was finished 5 years ago, but only just opened, but due to the delays building Factory International. Right, under the Odsal Cord, over the bridge, there's the River Irwell, that's going into Manchester City Centre. That's going to meander around through Salford, and there you go, there's Factory International, that curious looking building there. Slowed it down a bit there for you. We're going to go in there in a bit and have a drink, so I'll be able to show you. But we're looking to the right there. We're interested in those brick buildings there now. Okay, so if you remember the video that I did about the 5 things, and I showed you all the old back workings of Liverpool Road Station, all the stables and everything, I think I had to retort to a picture. Well, now this is open, I can show you this now. I showed you a picture of this, and it was all the old stables, and we looked at the other side of these. So these could house horses for the the goods that were distributed onwards from Liverpool Road Station. And finally now it's opened up, so you go from the very old there to the obviously the very modern. So I'm going to go into factory now, into the factory place. I don't know whether to vomit when I say factory or whether to, because it's got so many connotations when you say factory. You know, you've got the New York connection, you've got the old Manchester connection, but we're going to go in, we're going to have a pint in there and probably price up. We have actually just been in, I've been moaning about how they price the socks. Instead of putting like, you know, £9 for a pair of socks, yeah, it just says nine, you know, no pound sign or anything. Yeah, it's like a set, you know, a cheaper pair of socks, 3.3. That's £3.30 by the way to you and me. Anyway. So despite me moaning, it is quite a nice place. There is an exhibition on at the minute by a Japanese artist, something to do with balloons. We didn't go and see it. Nice big open space, nice bar area. Prices were fairly reasonable. I'm doing a bit of surreptitious filming here because I didn't want the old, I'm sorry sir, you're not allowed to film in here. That's why it's not quite straight, the filming. But there you go, we sat in that area there and we had a drink. So get yourself down there and make a decision if you're local in the area. There's the old warehouse, by the way, the old bonded warehouse. I came here, did a video of Granada. I think I was, you know what, I think I was one of the last people, apart from the developers, to go in the old Granada building when it was actually still a television studio. Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, so that isn't actually the Rovers Return, never was. It used to be a gift shop in the studio complex, Granada Studios complex. But it was made up to, it does, if you can just see ghost writing there, it says Rovers Return, but it never actually was. And now this goes up to some studios up there. Not a great deal to show you. Right, it gets a bit windy here, so I'm going to have to voice over this bit. The old Coronation Street set was to the right, behind there. And on the wall here is a big sort of mural. I'm going to show you now, and it's just a cloth mural. Now I've shown this before, and it was a colour picture of a street, and the street apparently was in Clayton. I think it's been pulled down now, but there was a scene where you could look through a viaduct on the old Coronation Street set, and you saw a street beyond. There it is, and what you're looking at is that mural there behind me, all faded now, all black and white, but amazing that it's still there and they've left it up. They should keep that because it really is a reminder of a time gone by. So I was chuffed to see that again, to be honest with you. There you go, that's how it looked. I've not watched Coronation Street since probably the 90s, so I'm a little bit out of touch, but that's how the set looked. You look through that viaduct. Apparently the trams went over that viaduct, and that's how it looked. This was Coronation Street. This was where Coronation Street was. Yeah, I think the cobbles were along here somewhere, weren't they? Yeah. You'll also remember down there we sailed up there on a kayak. That's the start of the Manchester Bury Bolton Canal. That obviously looks a little bit more modern now than back in the day. But all those videos we've done on the Manchester Bury Bolton Canal, that's the start of it. And just dead quick, only because we've never been down here, I'll just show you the start of the Manchester Bury Bolton Canal. Quite incredible, really. The beginning bit has got water, and unfortunately it loses the water along its length at various stages. Like I say, I think these are Middlewood locks here. You're very much in the heart of Salford now. And then at one point, further up here, along the towpath, the canal disappears altogether in bits of Salford. I think at one point there's a yard on it with wagons parked on it. But yeah, Middlewood locks, then you've got a bit of a basin, and then you've got, here we are, and you can see it going onwards now in this nice little area. It goes onwards towards, through the rest of Salford, and carries on its route towards Ringley and Clifton and all those places we've looked at. So there you go, it was good to catch up down in that area. It's good to see the footbridge finally open. Nice to see that part of the Bury Bolton Canal. And Factory International, interesting. It needs an identity, doesn't it? It needs to start getting some good exhibitions in there because. Do you remember, I don't know if anyone's from Manchester, I don't you remember Urbis opening, and it was called a Museum of Cities. I've read an article recently on Manchester Confidentials about Urbis and Factory International. So when Urbis opened, it was called a Museum of Cities, and most people in Manchester were like, what is that about? And it only really found an identity when it started to host the National Football Museum. So Factory International, it needs to get some, like I say, be a good venue and get some good exhibitions or even gigs in there, so people are aware of it and know of its existence, because it's just on the back end of town there, isn't it? It's just tucked away at the back end of town. GMEX, everyone knows GMEX, everyone remembers GMEX, although he's supposed to call it the Manchester Exhibition Centre now or something, but in our hearts, it will always be GMEX. That was the nice little name that they came up with back in the 80s. Oh, something I wanted to speak to you about as well, dead quick, maybe an idea for you for a day out. A few weeks ago, me, Roy and Marcus went to the National Coal Mining Museum. Well worth a visit. I think it's between Huddersfield and Wakefield, somewhere around there. It was called Capesthorne Colliery, but if you just Google it, Google the National Coal Mining Museum. Really good day out. As well as it being, you can look around how the colliery used to be up above ground. They've got a couple of industrial shunters there, some wagons there. You can walk around, you know, they've got old equipment there in a kind of an exhibition place. You can have something to eat there, but the best thing is you can go on an underground tour. And what they do is they actually take you in the old miner's cage with the winding gear on the top, and you go down 500 foot underground to the workings. There are lower workings, but apparently they're flooded. So you can go down 500 foot and you can have a walk around in the old workings and stuff, and one of the old miners takes you around and gives you a bit of a talk. And it was good, it was interesting. It's actually the best thing to do. What I would do is, kids are off at the minute, aren't they? It's August, so it's well worth, if you think your kids will be interested in that kind of thing, take them along. We wanted to do a little bit of filming, just maybe get some clips and take some photographs, but unfortunately when you're down there, because of the dangers of gas and explosions that still exist down there, you can't take anything that ignites a spark. So cameras, keys and stuff, car keys and stuff like that, you can't take them down. I don't want to put you off, it was completely safe, but you leave all your electronic gear up above, so we couldn't take any cameras down. So, but well worth a visit. I won't go on about it. I probably showed you a couple of pictures here. There was a good little shop there as well where you can buy some nice stuff. And I just think they deserve the support, to be honest with you. I think they really do deserve the support. Free. I think you pay £5 for the underground tour, but the rest of it is free. I mean, you know, it's well worth buying something in the shop or leaving a donation. So I'll leave that one with you if you think your kids are a bit older and would appreciate the underground tour. That's well worth going on. And he told a little story. You know, they have these like mannequins and stuff down there reenacting how the miners used to work. One of the stories was from the early 1800s, and it was bloody harrowing. It weren't a mega long story, it was just the way they worked, and it was harrowing. Or I found it harrowing, to be honest with you. Anyway, I'll leave that one with you. National Coal Mining Museum. Right, okay, I'm going to be working on these two other videos. Cornbrook 3 is coming out. It won't be out immediately because we've still got to go in the area and film the above ground stuff as well. And I've got to pull some history together to make the video. There's another video that I'm working on, so we're hoping to get that out fairly soon. I think James filmed something recently as well. You know, James, there was a day when I was working and I lent James the camera and went, go and do it. And he went off with John and another chap that you don't know, and they investigated a tunnel. I think it turned out to be a bit of a disaster.
Oh shit. I'm glad I'm wearing shorts. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm thinking of editing that one and putting it out as a Wednesday night video. So look out for that one. Over in the members section, plug on my channel, where I keep people informed of what's going on. Don't expect loads and loads of different content if you do decide to join the members section on my channel, but I do post pictures that other people don't see, keep people abreast of what's going on. We do the occasional live stream, and I've just recently put a video on telling the members about what we've been up to and what's going on and everything. So over on the members section, we're actually going to I'm going to arrange a meet, and we're going to get together, and I'm thinking of taking them somewhere mucky but interesting, and then we're trying to tag somewhere else along with that. So yeah, I think there's a join button down here somewhere on my channel. You can join if you want. Mainly it's a way of supporting the channel. I don't often plug it, as you know. I don't like to do this sort of stuff, but it is a way of supporting the channel. In return, I try and give the occasional video. I'll post pictures. By all means, if you want to join the channel, you can do. Prices start from about $3.99 or $4.99 or something like that. But like I say, that's up to you, whether you want to join the channel or not. Right, so look out for James's video. I'm going to edit that and get that out. Look out for Cornbrook 3. Give me a month on that, easily a month. In the meantime, we'll be looking for something else interesting to film. So as always, thank you very much for your support. Take care, and I shall see you all very soon in the next video. Bye for now.